Hi, I'm Tanya, and you are watching Deontay Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So ever since Deontay Wilder got stopped by Tyson Fury this past weekend, surprisingly, at least to me, there's been a lot of mixed views on what Wilder should do next, because now Wilder's in a situation where he has a rematch clause, so he can get an immediate rematch, but he has 30 days to decide what he wants to do. Some fans are saying that Deontay Wilder, he should take the immediate rematch. Some fans are saying that he should just retire. Then you have other fans that are saying he should just take some other fights and build towards a third fight with Tyson Fury. Now, Andre Ward, who actually called the fight, he gave his take, and he had a really good breakdown of what he thinks Deontay Wilder should do next. Let me go ahead and quote what Andre Ward had to say, and then I'm gonna give you guys my take. Okay, quote. These type of things can happen to anybody, but they happen oftentimes to guys who exclusively depend on one thing, and we know what that is for Deontay Wilder, and that's power. He's building his whole reputation, his whole foundation on fear. When you have that kind of reputation, and when you have all these knockouts, sometimes your team can become enamored with you. Instead of challenging you and saying, son, you may fire me, but I'm going to point out every flaw you have, because one day we're going to face a guy who's not going to follow the script. Tyson Fury did not follow the script, and oftentimes for a puncher, the fall is abrupt, and we saw that. I don't believe that Deontay Wilder is going to exercise that rematch clause in the next 30 days. His pride will tell him to, but I don't think he will, and I don't think he should. He's shattered psychologically. Now, that doesn't mean he won't ever win a boxing match ever again, but I know the psychology of a guy with that kind of reputation. End quote. I want to say I agree with everything that Andre Ward just said right there. I mean, he didn't just say he shouldn't do it and just leave it at that. He gave an excellent reason, an excellent breakdown, explaining why he didn't think that Deontay Wilder should take the immediate rematch with Tyson Fury. Now, when I made one of my post-fight videos, I had already said pretty much the same thing, that I didn't think Tyson Fury should take, or Deontay Wilder should take, an immediate rematch the way he looked. And I'm going to explain a little bit more, but before I do, I want to say, when I said that in that video, there was someone in the comment section, and he said, oh man, you just going to give up on Wilder just like that? Wow. That was his reaction. That was his response. And what I'm starting to think is, I think some fans, they're looking at this as more of a loyalty thing. Just be loyal. So pushing Deontay Wilder to immediately take the rematch, or saying you want him to take the rematch immediately, that's showing more of your loyalty to Deontay Wilder. To me, that makes no sense. This is the way I see it. First of all, you have to understand, Deontay Wilder has been boxing for a very long time. He has what, like 40 plus fights already? And not only did he already do 12 rounds with Tyson Fury before the rematch, but he had two other fighters to fight, giving him more time to prepare and fix the problems, fix the flaws in his first meeting with Tyson Fury. And the fact that Deontay Wilder didn't fix any of those flaws, in fact, it almost looked like he regressed in the rematch. He wasn't setting up anything. He wasn't trying to set up any traps. I didn't see any lead left hooks. I didn't see any jabs to the solar plex just to set up, a surprise right hand up top. I didn't see any of these things when it comes to Deontay Wilder. And because of that, I feel if he had that much time to get it right a second time and he still made zero adjustments, there's no way he can possibly be ready to go in there right away and beat Tyson Fury decisively. Because just going in there hoping that Deontay Wilder lands the right hand again, that's not a good enough strategy. So I think Deontay Wilder, he should go take on the other heavyweights. I would like to see Deontay get in there with like an Andy Ruiz. And that won't even be an easy fight, especially after Andy Ruiz just seen this fight. Matter of fact, because there's talks that Andy Ruiz, he may fight either Dillian White or King Kong Ortiz next. Matter of fact, they're more leaning towards Ortiz from the reports. But I wouldn't be surprised if now Andy Ruiz, he tries to go after Deontay Wilder if Wilder doesn't take the rematch with Tyson Fury, within the 30 days or agree to. I think that would be a great fight for Deontay Wilder to start working on getting used to throwing left hooks, throwing uppercuts, throwing body shots. I mean, try to go a couple rounds without relying on the right hand. He needs to be used to throwing these punches on a regular, not just throwing them every once in a while. But you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Deontay Wilder, once again, he's been doing this for so long. Hopefully he can make a change. Hopefully he can learn all this stuff in the next 6 months or the next year, because he certainly ain't going to learn it within the next 3 or 4 months if he ends up fighting against Tyson Fury right away. So that's the reason why I agree with Andre Ward. I don't think it's a good idea for Deontay Wilder to take this rematch right away. I remember when Oscar De La Hoya, when he lost to Shane Mosley the first time, that first fight was actually really, really competitive. I mean, there was no doubt Shane had won, but it was competitive, right? So my point is, as competitive as that fight was, Oscar De La Hoya, he wanted no parts of a rematch. In fact, Shane Mosley was calling out Oscar for a rematch for the next 2 years when Shane Mosley was still undefeated. But it wasn't until Shane Mosley had lost to Vernon Forrest twice, that's when Oscar De La Hoya got the confidence to take the rematch. So once again, my point is, if Oscar De La Hoya didn't want a rematch and he was in a very competitive fight against Shane Mosley, I think it's reasonable to say that the way Deontay Wilder looked in that rematch, it does not warrant an immediate rematch right now or an immediate third fight with Tyson Fury right now. I'm not too crazy about a Canelo versus Golovkin rematch, but after watching this fight, I can truly tell you, at least if we had to watch a third fight with Canelo and Golovkin, we know the fight is going to be competitive no matter who wins. We know both fighters are going to continue to adjust throughout the fight, right? We know that for a fact. But once again, Deontay Wilder has fought Tyson Fury twice and he has made no adjustments. It's the right hand or it's nothing. So for you fans to say, oh man, you just giving up on Wilder like that, I want him to fight him right away because I'm a big fan, etc., etc. I want to show my loyalty. You don't have his best interest if you're just pushing him in there just to show that you're a diehard fan of his. At the end of the day, it's not over for Deontay Wilder. Not completely, not yet. But once again, he would have to really, really improve. He would have to really add a whole bunch of weapons to his arsenal if he's going to have a chance of beating Tyson Fury. I also agree with Andre Ward when he talked about the psychology aspect. I mean, how Deontay Wilder is dealing with this psychologically. That right hand has bailed Deontay Wilder out of trouble in almost all of his fights. And now for the first time, that right hand could not save Deontay Wilder. Let's see what he decides to do in the next 30 days. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.